Okay guys, Dr. Chris Chatzoglou here once again from Revolution Health with an advanced CARS video. If you've already seen our first video and mastered that one, it's time to move on to something a little more challenging. We're going to use some blocks, some tennis balls, some different positions to hit some of our joints in a controlled and very slow fashion to improve joint health and mobility. A couple points to remember as we do these CARS. Controlled articular rotations are designed to be done slow and controlled. As we do them, we're going to keep 30% tension, take a breath in, 30% tension throughout the body. Let's ramp that up to about 50% tension as we do this in the advanced video. And then finally, no pinch points. As we do our circles and we do our controlled articular rotations, we are not going to go into any pain points. We're going to ease up, make the circle smaller if it becomes painful. We're going to start basically on the ground in a collapsed quadruped position, always starting with the spine. We're going to sit back on our heels and we're going to start with the neck by bringing our chin in, and we're going to rotate over to one side, look up towards the ceiling, make a big circle with your chin and bring it back down across your chest, back to the center and over to the other side again, doing 4 reps on each side, and then we're going to reverse the direction. Now we want to make sure for this one that we maintain a nice flat back, and we also want to make sure again that we're not doing anything too painful here. Once we've done 4 in one direction, we're going to reverse and go into the other direction. Remember, deep breath in, irradiate, create a lot of tension in the body. As you complete 1 rep, you're going to take a deep breath in and you're going to irradiate throughout the body. Go again. Exhaling as you complete the rep. Now I'm going a little bit faster than I would normally do this for demonstration's sake. As you do it at home, make sure you go nice and slow and controlled. And as you get closer to the end of your repetitions, try and make your circles a little bit bigger. So we did 4 in each direction. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the quadruped position. And we're going to start from the tailbone, working all the way up to the cervical spine. We're going to tuck our hips underneath and slowly move the entire spine into flexion as we get between the shoulder blades and then finally into the neck. And then we're going to initiate the next rep from the hips again, going into extension to the shoulder blades and then to the neck. Starting at the hips again, tucking the tailbone under, going into flexion, and then one more time from the tailbone. For 4 reps. Next, we're going to start at the cervical spine. So start by tucking the chin now, bringing into the shoulders, into the mid-back, and then finally into the hips and pelvis into flexion, and then starting again with the cervical spine into extension, collapsing into the mid-back, and finally into the low back, with the neck again, flexion, and extension. Slow and controlled. Coming up off the ground, we're going to grab a yoga block. We're going to take a nice wide stance here. This is going to completely immobilize the hips. We're going to squeeze our glutes, squeeze our abs, and squeeze the yoga block. Fold into flexion here. Going to rotate to one side, laterally flex, extend back and around, laterally flex, rotate back to center. Creating lots of tension on the block here. Laterally flex, then rotate back to center. Rotate to one side, laterally flex. Into flexion, rotate to one side, laterally flex and extend. Doing 4 reps on each side in the wide stance. Then going the other direction. nice strong base. Notice my hips are not moving all around as we do this, immobilizing the hips and just working the spine. Four in each direction. Next, we're going to go back to the quadruped position, and we're going to be working on scapular protraction and retraction. So back onto all fours. We're going to just think about our shoulder blades, pinching them together, moving our shoulder blades up, pushing out, and moving our shoulder blades back and down again. Adding a little bit of a different angle to our previous one, and adding a little bit of weight with our body weight, making it a little bit more difficult than the basic version. Doing 4 in one direction, and then reversing the opposite direction. Pushing away, forward, down, tucking our shoulder blades into our back pocket, pushing away, forward, back down, squeezing the shoulder blades together and down. And one more rep here. Keeping a flat back the entire time. From there, we're going to go ahead and work on some of our sideline shoulder cars. We're going to grab one tennis ball. The position we're going to take here is sideline, so the bottom leg is straight. We're going to be propped up on one arm here, and the other leg is just going to come in front to stabilize. Using a tennis ball, we're going to add some tension to the tennis ball, and we're going to start in a externally rotated position. We're going to bring the arm up, and as we get it overhead, we're going to start fighting for more rotation here as we reach back behind us, bringing it back around the other way, fighting for more internal rotation each time. Internally and externally rotating the shoulder and fighting for more each time. So we're going to do 4 on one side. And then we're going to do 4 on the other side. Switching sides now. Propped up on one shoulder, bottom leg is straight, top leg comes over. Squeeze the ball, rotate, up, internal rotation, reaching back for more, then reversing. Some of you might find this position a little easier. Some of you might find it a little harder. The main point here is we're immobilizing other parts of the body so we can just really focus on that shoulder joint and get it in a different angle as well. Sideline shoulder cars. Again, at home, you might want to take this as slow as possible. Okay? Grabbing a second tennis ball now. Let's go ahead and work on the elbows, and we'll also work on the wrists. Okay? So we're going to grab the tennis ball, squeeze, we're going to bicep curl up, turn, press down. Bicep curl up, turn, press down. Bicep curl up, rotate, press down. One more. Then we're going to reverse. Curl up, press down. Curl up, press down. Nice and slow, keeping our elbows tight to the body and pinching. Curling up, rotating all the way at the top and all the way at the bottom. Okay, moving on to wrists now. Same principle as before, we're going to imagine a cup of water sitting on top of our wrists, so we don't want to be rotating our wrists and dumping the water. So keeping your wrists flat, elbows pinched in, we're going to go circles. You might get some nice little snaps in there like I do. Lots of tension on the tennis ball. And then we're going to go the other direction, flexing all the way up, extending all the way down, flexing up, trying only to move the wrist joint. For me, this one's way harder than the first one. Okay, wrists and elbows. Cool. Okay, so next step, we're going to move on to a hip position. We're going to take the tennis ball and we are going to place the tennis ball in the back of the knee, and we're going to hamstring curls to trap that ball. And from here, we are going to donkey kick up, rotate, keeping our back flat, and knee in. Of course, my pants are slippery, so of course the tennis ball is slipping out. Donkey kick up, rotate, in, and then reversing. Moving on to the next side, hamstring curl, donkey kick up, rotate, keeping the back flat, knee up, into flexion, and then rotate. Knee up, into flexion, donkey kick up, here. Squeeze that hamstring nice and tight. Donkey kick straight up, fight for rotation, and here. One point to point out, just a small little correction. When we were on all fours doing the cervical spine, lumbar spine, you might have noticed that was the same as before in the basic video. One way that we can make that harder and more advanced is by putting the block between the legs, squeezing, and then going through your controlled articular rotations through the spine. Okay, so just a small correction there from the first half of the video. Okay, moving on now. We've done spine, hips, shoulders, wrists, elbows. Let's move on to the knee, and let's move on to the ankle. So from this one, we're just going to lie on our back. We're going to straighten one leg, and the other leg we're just going to bring up. And for the knee, we're going to start with internal rotation. We're going to start internal rotation, kick up, rotate out, down. Internal rotation up, internal rotation down. Internal rotation up, internal rotation down. Working against gravity this time, making it a little more difficult. We're going to do 4 in one direction, then we're going to reverse the position. Internal rotation and up, and down. Internal rotation up, rotate externally and down, internal, up, external, down, internal, up, external, down. Switching sides now. We'll start with external rotation up, internal, down. Then reversing. Excuse me, reversing. Four in each direction. Again, trying only to move the knee joint. We're not moving our hip open or closed, keeping our hip neutral. Okay, onto the ankles now. Very simply, foot in the air again. We're going to internally rotate, gas pedal down, externally rotate, gas pedal up. Internally rotate, gas pedal down, externally rotate, gas pedal up. You don't have to have a perfectly straight leg for this. Just working against gravity adds another dimension of difficulty. Then then switch directions. External rotation, internal. Gas pedal down. Gas pedal up. Internal, gas pedal down. Moving on to the other side now. Internal rotation, gas pedal down. External rotation, gas pedal up. Internal, down, external, up. Internal, down, external, up. Internal, down, external, up. Ooh, this is hard. Okay, and then reversing. External, down, gas pedal, up, internal. External, down, up. Okay, 4 on each side and in each direction. Finally, moving on to the toes. Toes are hard enough. Basic toes is the same as advanced toes. We're gonna start with big toe up only. So the rest of these toes stay down, big toe goes up. And then we're gonna do 4 of those, which is quite hard. You're gonna find yourself doing the finger guns, pointing at your toes, but you'll get the hang of it eventually. For me, my left foot seems to be better at it than my right foot. And then after that, big toe down, outer toes up. 4 reps. Some of you might get some toe cramps, and that's okay. All right. And that is your advanced CARS routine. So 8 to 10 minutes a day, taking it nice and slow and controlled. If you need any help with anything else, feel free to hit me up at revolutionhealth.ca. If you want to get on the phone and chat, I'd be happy to work through some things with you. And go ahead and like this video too. If it's on YouTube, who knows? Anyway, thanks again.